Welcome to CIS220, Unit 1. I am David Anderson, Dr. Anderson, the instructor. And of course, this is an introduction to network security. Okay, what we're going to briefly talk about today is a quick introduction to the class, the course objectives, the course deliverables, of course, mention the course syllabus, and of course the facilities, which online, unless you choose to go to A100 or the library or my office, will be wherever you work or at your home. I am David Anderson, the instructor here. I'm a professor at CIS here at Triton College, and classes I teach include systems of various types, networking, security, things of that nature. I tend not to teach too much programming and coding. I came here by way of the Management Information Systems in the Army, and then later at Allstate after I retired. And Allstate sold their IT division to a firm out in New York, didn't want to go to New York. So I jumped ship to Raytheon's facility in Indianapolis. Enjoyed myself there quite a bit until they decided they wanted to send me as a technical instructor slash school instructor to the Middle East, which of course is what I got out of the Army not to do. I have a number of degrees to include my doctorate. I'm an MCSE. I'm a CIW security analyst. I've earned the CCNA and the Cisco Cybersecurity Specialist exams. The wireless field engineer, as well as the A+, INET+, and a number of other technical certifications. And of course, the whole point of this class, I would love it for everybody taking the class to leave it understanding the basics for network security, a little bit of a focus on CIS220 certification, and have some fun. Okay. And real quickly, regardless of why you're here, please never underestimate the value of getting your associate degree. Every study ever done shows that people with associate degrees earn more money on average than workers that only have a high school diploma. And this is not just a matter of making more money, it's they have better jobs, they're happier, they're more likely to keep and find employment. There's no good reason to not finish your degree. It's one of the best investments you can make in yourself over the period of your entire life. And of course, real quickly, because while money isn't everything, it certainly helps. The U.S. Department of Labor has said nice things about the whole concept of network security. In Chicago, the average max salary for a network security professional, not a manager, not a CEO, is just shy of 6 figures, and the average median salary for network security professionals, again, not CEOs, not managers, is just shy of $76,000. This is a little bit better than what you and I can find at McDonald's or Burger King, cooking up the French fries for everybody. Things we are going to talk about in the class include understand a general networking and security concepts, know what TCP/IP is and the basic principles, understand certificate basics, know how network infrastructure security systems are developed in organizations, understand communication security concepts, understand application security concepts, understand user security concepts, explain what are security baselines, become proficient in the use of microcomputer applications commonly found in the business community, know what operational security is, and be able to explain what organizational security is, and describe the concept of incident detection and response. Okay? To do well in this class, just is very similar to what you do at work. Okay, you have to be here. If you don't show up on a weekly basis and post your materials and submit your assignments, it's going to be hard to get an A. You need to have your materials, the textbook or the optional textbook, which is free, but not as good as the proprietary textbook that focuses specifically on CompTIA. You're going to need some sort of storage media for your materials, and of course you're going to need access to internet to access the supplemental materials which are out there and are not in the public domain and therefore free, which is kind of cool. We're going to have assignments every week. We're going to have 2 exams, a midterm and a final, as well as assessments most weeks, a short, quick assessment based on the readings. You're going to need to get, and this is pretty much a given, but you need to get and use an email. Okay? Don't care which one it is. Recommend use the Triton one, but you need to have an email address. You need to be logging on a weekly basis to the class website, Blackboard, and Yahoo. Every now and then we run into somebody who enrolls in the class and then is a ghost for several weeks, and then at the end of the class or the last half of the class, if they've missed months of it, they suddenly surface and want to turn everything in. It just doesn't work like that. Extra credit is available, and if you work in some way, shape, or form now with computers, you can get up to 6 credits, elective credits, for the work you're doing. And I don't mean the 7-Eleven scanning stuff in with the barcode reader, but anything much above that can count as work for your whatever program you're working on. Okay, take a look at the class syllabus, and you'll find that there's contact information, how to reach me, and realistically, email is by far the best way. We do have the Blackboard class website, and of course, you can email me if something doesn't seem to be working there. Happens. I find that Internet Explorer gives me iffy responses. I have much better luck with Firefox or Google Chrome. With course schedule is not written in stone, but it does give us weekly guidelines on what you can expect us to be doing. And of course, we'll have weekly lab assignments, and if you turn them in late, grade goes down. Okay. Attendance, it's posting every week is how I'm going to track your attendance. And if you miss 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, after the first 2 times you miss, because things do happen, people do miss, your grade is going to start to go down. Having said that, there are going to be unusual circumstances that are going to keep you from being here, but you should have been planning ahead. I mean, if you're planning to take a long vacation, and I've had people, say, well, I'm going on a vacation and I don't know what the internet access is going to be. So there are darn few places that you and I can go where there's not going to be some sort of internet access. It comes with the turf. And of course, your grades will be assigned and laid out for you based on exams, labs, and the assessments you'll be doing. Okay, this week is very much to just get a feel for the class and how things are working. What is security? Why do we need security? Who is vulnerable? Some common security attacks and countermeasures. A little bit about firewalls, denial of service, TCP attacks, packet sniffing, and social problems. And a lot of you know a lot more about this than you think you do. Okay, a big part of why companies are paying the big bucks and there's such large job demand for this is they just have to have somebody come in from outside and basically tell them common sense. For example, when leaving your house, your apartment, or the cardboard box under a bridge that many of us, purport to live in, okay, because we don't admit to anything else, the single most effective step is to A, install an alarm system, B, and this is my personal favorite, buy lots of snarling dogs, C, lock your doors and windows, or D, the college student favorite, because grasshopper, if you own nothing, then nothing can be taken from you. Okay, and of course the answer is C. When considering PC network protection for your house, your apartment, or the cardboard box you may live in, the single most effective step is to A, keep teenage males off of your PC, B, install all the antivirus software you can find, C, my personal favorite, bury your computers in a hole in your backyard, and D, the college student favorite, own nothing, because grasshopper, if you own nothing, then nothing can be stolen from you. And of course, sadly, and teenage girls are not far behind, but keeping teenage males off of a computer is a really, really good way to keep them secure, because they tend to do things without thinking. The last part of the brain to mature and settle down is the frontal lobe, which handles our impulse control. And teenage boys will just go click on anything and go anywhere without necessarily thinking through what the consequences are going to be. Okay. When considering PC network protection for your house, your apartment, or your cardboard box, the second most effective step is to A, keep those teenage boys off of your computer, B, install and keep current your antivirus software, C, bury your PCs in a hole in your backyard, or D, the college student favorite, own nothing. And of course, B, install and keep current your antivirus software, something that is not that hard to do, but seems to get not used on a regular basis. When we talk about security, we're talking about basically overall freedom from risk or danger. And of course, network security, we apply that in terms of our network communications. We don't want to have problems with them, wondering if they're going to be working, worrying about them working at all. Okay, and we need network security, unfortunately, because it protects vital information while still allowing access to those who need that access. It can be trade secrets, medical records, financial records. It provides authentication access control for resources so that people don't access things that they, with the best of intentions, they really may be trying to access, not realizing they're not supposed to access it. And security also includes reliability, guaranteeing the availability of resources, and a holy grail for that is what we like to call the 5 nines, or the 99.99% reliability, like eBay or Amazon.com or any corporation. They don't want their stuff to be down. Who's vulnerable? Financial institutions and banks, internet service providers, pharmaceutical companies, government and defense agencies. This election is a classic example of the problems people can have with systems being hacked. Contractors to various government agencies, multinational corporations, really anyone on the network. And you know, my kids, one of the reasons that they have an older model of a IBM laptop is because it has a nice blue button on it, and when things get seriously infected on their systems, or I think they might be infected, I can simply hit the blue button and it basically does a factory reinstall the entire system from a protected partition, and any damage that's been done is undone, which is really kind of neat to know, because they're kids and they're going to do things that are, in retrospect, not necessarily the smartest thing in the world. This week, things to focus on. Read the textbook introduction, not chapter 1, just read the introduction, or the SANS paper on an introduction to network security, and the URL, of course, is listed here as well as in the Unit 1 module. Read through the supplemental readings, watch the videos, including, I think, a very fine video presentation on me, talking a little bit about various technical industry certifications. Submit the Unit 1 social media research assignment, okay, under Unit 1 for assignments. Going to do some research there on yourself or on me, not on anybody else. And of course, you're going to complete your discussion board posting, which this week is a quick introduction to yourself to include minimum number of words and 2 true and 1 not true facts, and then you have to post on a couple of your peers, okay? And this sounds simple, but some people mess it up because they don't think, you know, they don't read through the instructions on what they're supposed to do. We're going to talk a little bit this week about what is information security, and we'll talk about some industry network security certifications. The video that I did on this, I think you may or may not find it be of some interest. And of course, by the end of this unit, what I'd like you to be able to do by Saturday, Sunday of this week, you should have a pretty good idea of how to describe what information security is and be able to identify some industry network security certifications. And of course, there's some videos I'm going to ask you to watch, and mine is right up there. And you don't need to watch it, but you might find it to be of interest if you do. And of course, you're going to have assignments that you're going to do. Here's your research assignment, either you or yourself or me. No friends or neighbors. We're not running around trying to get into stalking, okay? And it has to be of a non-defamatory type. I don't want you posting anything bad about yourself. Lord knows I don't want you posting anything bad about me. And bear in mind that if you're researching me, anything connected to Triton doesn't count. That's unfair. And that makes it a little bit harder because David Andersons are a dime a dozen in Chicago and really around the area. And there's some very interesting reading, and it can be a little eye-opening as to just how easy it is to find out things about people. And of course, for discussion, introduce yourself, minimum of 100 words, include 2 true and 1 not true fact, okay, and respond to 2 other student posts. This is not hard, but it's amazing the number of people that miss it, and responding with a yes or no or go Cubs is not my idea of a response. It has to be what we call a substantive response, at least a sentence in length. Questions? Okay, thank you very much.